right.
Welcome back. You know what time it is. That's right. Another Fan in the Van podcast video.
You already know. Easter Sunday. Easter podcast. Easter video Sunday, baby.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful Easter it is. It's quiet. I ain't got shit to do.
Neither
and I'm
do I.
loving it.
I'm
loving it. You know, except for the fact the Yankees looking like crap right now. Domingo Germán's pitching like utter garbage. Well, to be expected.
And of course, you know.
Yeah,
Yankees, bro.
It's very,
anyway.
It's very disgusting to say the least.
Yankees very disgusting.
You know, and again, you know, we said it last night. Why is Hicks in a 3-hole?
I don't know.
Why? I guess Boone likes him striking out 3 times in a game in the 3-hole.
I wouldn't put him in the 3 spot.
I wouldn't even played him today. I would have put Brett Gardner in center. I would have.
No, he was fine yesterday. The other day in center.
I would have taken the chance of putting Stanton in left field.
The chance?
Yep, because Judge is getting a half day because they're DHing him. So Frazier's playing right field.
That sucks.
And this is what I don't like.
Because I don't know.
Is them moving him from right to left, right to left, right to left,
I know,
right to left.
Just stick him. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
I would have taken Hicks out of the lineup. Had Frazier play left. I would have had Gardner in center, and I would have put Stanton in right.
Yeah, Stan's fine, right?
That's what I would have done if I was Aaron Boone, but I'm not Aaron Boone. So
you ain't Aaron Boone.
You know, and I get he doesn't want to put too much pressure on Stanton. Like he says, he doesn't want to play him 5 days in a row. Well, he does his bat. It's not like he's in the field running around. So what's the big deal?
Domingo Germán's like pulling up to 40 pitches in the second inning, man.
Yeah, well, they're gonna be that Randall Gruntrack guy, however you say his name, he's a friggin' Yankee killer on Toronto. He's always been.
Oh man, it's fucking blows.
He's always been, but apparently now the Houston PD now is investigating the Watson issue.
Is it? Are they?
Yeah, apparently. And 2 more broads came out, and you know what?
Wait, did it keep on coming out?
You know what? It's just so ridiculous. Either investigate it and shut the fuck up about it, or don't investigate it and still shut the fuck up about it. Because personally, I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm personally tired of it. Every day it's something different. You know, did the lawyer hand in all these friggin' supposed things to the cops? The cops are saying no one day, then they're saying yeah, he did. You know what? I don't give a shit no more.
Yo, put it this way. It's kind of funny how all this came out right when he demands a trade and says, I'm not playing enough staff for your team. And then all this shit comes out?
You know how everybody saves face in this situation? You want to know how?
How?
Trade him.
Exactly, yo. Like,
trade him.
But instead of they're ruining the poor kid's fucking career, is to go let him flourish somewhere where he wants to be.
That's the point. They don't want him to. They look at it this way.
That's a selfish fucking...
The ownership's looking at it from this perspective. And you can't totally look at Watson as the victim here. Because, again, he knew what circus show this was. Because Bill O'Brien was still here when he signed that deal. So he isn't totally innocent.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, too, that was before the Hopkins trade. That was, you know what I'm saying? That was before a lot of stupid shit happened.
Then
when they traded D-Hop, I think that was the beginning.
Well, then I think both sides need to realize who's to blame for everything. And
who
that's Bill O'Brien.
Yo, Bill O'Brien traded D-Hop for a bag of chips and a fucking running back. What the fuck?
I don't know. Thank God I'm not a Texans fan, because I would have blown the back of my head off after that one.
Shit, man.
I would have been like freaking Billy Bob in Varsity Blues.
Arizona fans were happy as hell.
Yeah, because you got to steal.
Another thing, I don't think, with that Dak signing that big contract, bro, Amari Cooper might not be on the Cowboys next year. Might not be.
Well, no. They're looking to, I think before the trade deadline, I think one of them gets moved, whether it's Cooper or Zeke. I think whoever's going to have the higher value is the contract they're going to try to move.
I think
there's so many few teams that could take that contract.
Yeah, honestly, I think they will probably move fucking Cooper, because they have a pretty decent deep wide receiver class.
I was going to say about CeeDee Lamb.
We'll see what he does this year.
I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be, everybody put him here and he's just going to be here. That's what I think his career is going to be. Because wide receivers like Justin Jefferson, who are here, already here.
Dude, he was on top of my list when I watched, and that dude blew everybody away, man. What Kirk Cousins as a quarterback.
And the issues that I have with the whole Cowboy thing is that if you knew you were going to pay Dak, this thought process should have already been handled as far as like, okay, you know what? we got to move one of these contracts because we're not going to have enough in the salary cap now to
Pay Zeke, pay fucking Cooper, pay
to fill in the holes where we need to fill them in. And now you put yourself, in my opinion, in the Steelers situation. In the Steelers situation before they went and fixed it.
Yeah.
And no team gets himself out of salary cap hell like the Steelers do. They managed to restructure. They managed to bring back on the cheap.
They do what they got to do.
Although some of them I question, like Villanueva. Again, I'm sorry, I would have been better without Villanueva being back.
I remember me and you talking about it. It was like, yo, this guy's gonna be gone this year. We happy.
Yeah, and then look what happens. Friggin' back on a 1-year deal. He's not going to help the offensive line any, and I don't start him. I'm sorry.
He's old.
You got to start Dotson or Chuck Okafor.
No, Dotson
over
showed me
Villanueva.
Dotson showed me some nice things last year. So did Okafor.
And then even thinking about that when they started Filer over Dotson, the Chargers are dumb. They gave Filer a ridiculous deal. They gave him like 3 years and $21 million.
What?
Yeah. So all 4 Chargers fans were pissed about it. And you see the video of Sean Merriman?
Nah.
Sean Merriman, I forget what store he's in, but he's pretty much trying to, pump up the 4 Charger fan base.
Yeah.
And he takes 2 Derek Carr jerseys. One's the home one, and then one's the away one, right? So he takes them off. He takes them off the rack, and he goes, "Who wants to see me sack him in this one and sack him in this one?" Pretty much is what he's saying. Listen. If you're a Chargers fan, if you're one of the 4 in the world, don't expect anything big this year. Don't expect anything big because, and Justin Herbert is just going to be wasting all his talent there.
I know.
Keenan Allen wasting all his talent
He's
there.
been wasting his talent there.
Mike Williams wasting all his talent there.
Yep.
I mean, he lost a tight end in Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I know.
If they're going to make moves, they either have to move, unfortunately, Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, and I think Mike Williams is the bigger cap hit. So that's that's the one where, like, even on draft day, and I even thought about this last night. If they told Steve Nelson to seek a trade, they should have said, "Listen, we're keeping you on the roster till the draft, and this is how they would move up to get, say, Najee or Travis Etienne. Use him as a trade piece along with, let's say, that second, third round draft pick that they have, and move up."
Yep.
That's what I would have done.
And you get Najee.
But they didn't think about that. And I'm telling you, I think Najee's gone from, say, pick 11 on. Travis Etienne's going to be gone from pick 11 on.
The way it is going, though, I don't see, like, it's hard because, like, teams, I don't know. I don't know.
I get that it's quarterback heavy. I get it's wide receiver heavy. And I get it's tight end heavy. And it's running back heavy, and it's offensive line heavy. It's pretty much heavy in every position this year. But I don't see a team like the Panthers taking a risk
I think they're taking
on Trey Lance.
I do. I don't think
I don't think Trey Lance is going to be ready. See, the Bears took this risk with Trubisky. Look how that panned out. If the Panthers take the risk, history repeats itself. It's not going to end well.
Yeah, but who do they have besides Teddy Bridgewater?
Go sign one of these veterans. They could have went out and got Fitzmagic.
They could have, should have, would have, but they didn't.
Alex Smith. Alex Smith. I think signed.
Yeah, he did.
With who did he sign with?
I don't know, but yo, you know what I was thinking about yesterday too? About when New England gave Cam Newton that $14 million contract. I think that right there is like not like a. What do I call it? Like a film over your eye, you know what I'm saying? Like saying they're not going to draft a quarterback.
I think they do.
They are the draft a quarterback.
At 15,
they're taking a quarterback.
At 15, if Kyle Trask is sitting there, they're taking Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
I don't care what these mock drafts tell you. I'm telling you, at 15, they're going to find somebody to replace Cam Newton because Stidham should have been the replacement.
Easily.
And I think Belichick has no faith in him. Whatever. I'm not Bill Belichick. If I was, I'd be wearing sleeveless hoodies and a downpouring rainstorm somewhere.
He made $1 million last year through 8 touchdown passes, like 11 interceptions, and he makes $14 million. Killing it. Hey, Cam's happy.
Yeah, well, of course, because he probably wasn't even expecting $14 million. But
he's probably expecting $14.
But hey, like I said, Belichick took the salary cap mode off, and they went spending.
They went crazy. They went tight end crazy.
But to me,
you got Jonnu Smith. Oh man,
with the whole Niners trading up,
They're
if
taking a
if
quarterback.
they don't take a
They
quarterback,
are.
like
100%.
but let's say they decide, you know what, we're going to ride it out with Jimmy G, not trade him, or we're not getting a first-round draft pick for him. And I think San Francisco, John Lynch, and Shanahan have to come down from this cloud that they're on and realize he's not worth a first-round draft pick. So you're going to have to either accept a second or a third. But if they don't draft a quarterback there, it's Penei Sewell.
You have
You're
to.
going to have to bolster that offensive
Because
line if you're going to ride it out with Jimmy G. Because you're going to have somebody to protect them. Because who do you got? What do you got?
Off the top of my head, I have no idea.
Garbage cans and whatnot.
Yep. And recycled people.
And you know, because I think my buddy Sal would agree. I think he said it the other day when it was mentioned how they're looking to trade Jimmy G, or if they don't, then who do they take? And he said Penei Sewell, and it makes sense because Sewell's going to be sitting there.
He's going to be chilling.
Because you figure Lawrence goes one unless somehow Justin Fields manages to high step both of them. And Wilson.
I don't see that for some reason. I don't know why. Because of the hype of.
But let's say it does happen.
Fields had a fucking hell of a pro day, bro.
But let's say it happens. So Fields goes number one. Now the Jets are in this. Who do we go with here? Do we go with Wilson or do we go with Lawrence?
Lawrence.
Right. See, to me, you'd have to take Trevor Lawrence because out of all of them, he has more games played than all of them pretty much combined. Other than I think maybe Mac Jones, but Mac Jones isn't going to go number two.
No.
Which leads me now. Let's say they go with a quarterback.
They're taking Mac Jones. I think for San Francisco would take Mac
San Francisco would take Zach Wilson then. If Zach Wilson's so high up, like everybody's claiming, I don't see
he's got
the big,
that arm.
I don't see the big high side to him.
He's got that arm.
And it's mainly because of what people are kind of dismissive about with him is his, you know, oh, I got to prove my swag to everybody. First of all,
no Baker Mayfield in the goddamn league, bro.
Exactly.
We do not need another Baker Mayfield.
And that's why I'm turned off by Zach Wilson, because it's just going to be Baker Mayfield 2.0. And that's something, if you're a Jet fan, I don't think you want it. Because he's going to overhype himself. The team's going to overhype themselves. And you're just going to be the New York Browns.
Exactly.
You're going to be the New York Browns. It's not like you haven't been the Browns for 40 plus years anyway. But at least you have more wins than the Browns do.
Yeah, I know.
And to me, see, this draft gets interesting.
It does.
If Fields manages, I'm not saying it happens, but let's say it does happen. If Fields goes number one,
whoa, that changes a lot of things.
It literally, you could take your mock draft
and throw it out the window, bro.
You might as well just throw it in your fake fireplace and let it burn, because now this draft can go anywhere.
Yo, I think the top four are gonna be quarterbacks. I honestly think the Falcons might take a quarterback, dude.
They have to.
I know.
And they may be the ones to take the chance on Trey Lance if he's sitting there.
Trey Lance is good. I like him.
But if I'm Atlanta, and let's say the Niners don't go quarterback,
they go quarterback. They won't trade up that far.
They gotta go Mac Jones if I'm Atlanta.
And Penei Sewell definitely has to go to Bengals to protect Mr. Burrow. He tore every CL.
They need something to protect him. Otherwise, freaking always just expect them to tear the other CLs and the other knee.
Fuck, man. I know, man. Poor kid.
And it really, I kind of got annoyed the other day because I still follow Mike Hilton on Instagram, even though he's with the Bengals. And just seeing him post shit now at the Bengals. I mean, yeah, he went, he got his money, but it's just
it doesn't look right.
It's just sickening. It's just like, for like 3 years, I've seen Mike Hilton in black and gold, and now I got to see him in those atrocious Bengal colors, just like vomit. And I'm just like, and then like seeing Bud Dupree in a Titans jersey, I just wanted to, you know, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, this can't be real life, but yet it is, because again, don't get me wrong, I love my Steelers. As you could see, you could all hate on the shirt all you want, which, by the way, you could get them from DC4LTs. Follow them on Twitter. They got great shit. They got every team, anything you could. Oh my, they got wrestling tees. They got everything. They freaking even have the shirt with what's his name from Half Baked on it. Scarface.
Oh, Scarface?
Where he's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out.
Yo, I love that part.
All right. But seriously, great shirts and reasonably cheap too. I had to plug them a little bit because they do take care of me. They ship my shit rather fast, so gotta give them a little plug there.
I'm excited to see the Giants this year, bro. No, honestly, I am, man.
I mean,
If we could bolster the offensive line a little bit.
your season hinders on Barkley staying healthy.
Yep.
Jones progressing in the positive. Slayton having a big year. Ingram learning how to catch a ball. And
We got Galladay too.
and Galladay staying healthy,
Mhm.
and your defense literally being
The
like a
defense-
Steeler type defense,
Yeah.
where you literally are ranked in the top five in
Yep, I know.
every
Exactly.
category.
Yep.
And they took care of some of that, getting a Dory Jackson, and because you needed that safety help,
Yep.
and now you got it.
Mm-hmm. And we also got
But there's still a lot of good safeties and corners out there. I mean, some of them are a little like Richard Sherman's out there.
Richard Sherman's
It's a
a
buyer.
little-
It's a buyer's market in this.
Yo,
in the
I
secondary
don't see Richard
area now.
Sherman going until after the draft either.
There'll be a team close to the draft, or maybe during the draft, where they'll have their eye on maybe Surtain or Farley, and he goes before their pick.
And they
I see them calling up Richard
And
Sherman
Sherman,
right there, and be like,
yeah.
1 year, $5 million deal. What do you say? Oh, okay, because nobody else is gonna fucking sign me anyway.
basically-
So, and the Jets honestly should take a flyer on him. Everybody's saying he should go to Pittsburgh. Listen, we're not trying to get older.
I don't know,
We're
you
trying
guys
to
get
get younger.
exactly.
And you could say, well, Jim, you saw in Ben Roethlisberger to it. Listen, and I have to explain this again to you stupid meatheads that don't understand this. I should have wore that one instead.
The one last ride.
I should have won. Well, the other one, the other one.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the other one that's coming has Juju and Ben on it, and it says one last ride on it. And it kind of feels like
Bell's missing, I think, bro.
Well,
19 and 7 is 26. Gotta bring back 26.
just saying. and
Gotta bring him back.
but what's funny, but what amazes me is that everybody knocks it though.
Why?
But it's like, okay, if you're a real knowledgeable Steeler fan, and you had a hypothetical gun to your head, and you had to choose who your quarterback's going to be for this year, Rudolph or Ben, I'm sorry. If it saves me from getting my head blown off, it's Ben. I'm not going to sit there and go, let me go with the unknown and the unproven. Let me go with the guy who's been consistently winning. And you could knock he throws interceptions here and he does it. So does
Everybody else.
So does every other quarterback. But it's funny.
Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
And it's funny because everybody shits on Ben when he chokes in a big spot. But like Drew Brees can do it, and it's okay. Aaron Rodgers is choked in a big spot, and it's okay. And Patrick Mahomes choked in the Super Bowl. That's okay.
Tom Brady
is choked in Super Bowls.
Threw an interception as the last Patriot.
And in big spots.
Okay,
and in big spots. And that's okay. And Eli is choked in big spots, and that's okay. And Peyton, and so on. Even
and
Terry
Breeze,
Bradshaw.
Everybody.
Even Terry Bradshaw's choked in a big moment. And so did Starbog, and Bart Starr, and Fran Tarkenton.
And everybody else's favorite quarterback.
and God knows who else, okay? So if you're going to shit on one, shit on them all.
Kerry Collins choked in the Super Bowl.
They shouldn't even been in that Super Bowl.
I ain't gonna front though.
The fact that Trent Dilfer won us. Get the fuck
I know.
Disgusting.
Hey.
Trent Dilfer. I can't stand him. Trent. His name is Trent and Dilfer. Seriously.
TD. Touchdown.
Total douche. I can't stand him, and I can't stand Matt Hasselbeck on ESPN.
I can't stand him either, bro. Fucking big
and Trent Dilfer. Watching that Super Bowl, and of course, because it was the Ravens, I wanted to vomit. I was like, the Ravens shouldn't even be in the Super Bowl. But
that's the one they won.
Whatever.
It is what it was, though.
Yeah. Well, then of course they won the one Ray Lewis's last year.
Yeah,
and,
Joe Flacco's the best.
Yeah. All of a sudden, they win one for Big Murdering 52. Now, I'm not talking about on the field. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that. Sorry, that motherfucker did that shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay. If the blood's on the suit, you cannot acquit. But whatever. So, you win the Super Bowl in Ray Lewis's last season, which I fucking hope that he got hurt and it was fucking career end, even though his career was ending anyway. But there was career ending that he could never possibly make the return if he wanted to. And then all of a sudden, Flacco's elite. What's so elite about Joe Flacco?
Not a goddamn thing.
The only thing that's elite about him is the fact that he's been an elite piece of shit since he came in the league. I don't care about his stats. I don't care about anything. Bottom line is he got drafted by Baltimore, so therefore that makes you a shitbag. It makes you a douchebag. I don't care. I don't fucking like you, Joe Flacco. And you're not going to play in Philly. You're not going to play in Philly. Jalen Hurts is getting all the snaps. You ain't going to do shit in Philly. You're pretty much just there to wash his cup.
Yep. Give me a fucking Gatorade, man. Hang up my helmet. Give me my fucking helmet.
You know, it's really what's going to come down to. Fuck Joe Flacco. I don't give a shit.
Oh
I
man,
really don't care.
Joe Flacco and like is like same fucking like tier to me with Kirk Cousins. I can't believe you got that fucking deal. It's crazy.
If you think about in any sport how these guys got these big deals and then never panned out, like
Ezekiel Elliott is number
Zeke
one.
Elliott,
Care,
right?
bro.
Zeke Elliott right now.
Big time.
Giancarlo Stanton takes number 2.
I fucking can't stand.
Kirk Cousins is 3. Definitely Joe Flacco is 4. And there's so many others where they got the big payday. Even Amari Cooper.
But yo, he's worth it.
Amari Cooper.
He's worth it.
He's not the same Amari Cooper he
Wasn't
was.
it the Raiders?
Yeah, not the same Amari Cooper. He's definitely not. And you could say, and people could say, well, you know, because Dak is inconsistent. It's not that Dak's inconsistent. Look at who was calling the plays when Dak was the quarterback there. Jason Garrett. Get the. Don't even get me.
Don't get me started. He's my fucking offensive coordinator, bro.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe Joe Judge will fire. Well, maybe Joe Judge and him will get into a fight like him and that other guy did during last freaking training camp.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was hilarious. And Joe Judge is the one who apparently started all that too, from the multiple reports I read. I really just don't care. The thing that annoys me is, how is Urban Meyer an NFL coach? Jacksonville is so. You had all these other candidates, and you went with the guy who hasn't coached in like 10 years. Well, yeah, no, maybe about 5, because the other guy who was one of his assistants took over when he stepped down with the whole thing when his buddy beat the shit out of his wife like 855 times or whatever it was. That's who Jacksonville makes the head coach. And then he wanted to bring on his buddy who was involved in hazing at the University of Iowa. Great pickup, Jacksonville. You really look like a bunch of fucking schmucks. You know what? You don't deserve the number 1 pick. But you could blame thank the Jets, though.
I know, for wanting to win the last 2 games.
If you're a Jets fan watching the draft, you have to be disgusted with the fact that you beat the Rams. And that is what gave you the second pick.
I know.
You should be
You could hold
disgusted.
all the cards right here, bro. Even if you didn't want a quarterback, you could just sit there.
No matter who they draft, whether they go quarterback, take Devonta Smith, or Jamar Chase, or Penei Sewell, whoever they take, they're going to have a brand new shiny toy that they're going to try to make the new face of this team.
If they don't take a quarterback, bro, that changes everything.
It does change everything. But to me, now that you have a new coach, you can have a new offensive scheme. And now you have weapons again, and it's repetitive. But now you have all that. Now let's see what Sam Darnold's potential really is. If going into week 6 and they're 2-4, okay? If they're 2-4 going into week 6, then it was a mistake. But you don't know till you go through with it.
But you won't. But you don't know if you're gonna be in that second pick again. You understand? Like.
Yeah, but if you're the GM again, who came out months ago and said this is the quarterback of the future, and
That's what
and
they
Sam
all
Darnold,
say. That's what they all say.
See, and I'll go back to what I said months ago about it. Don't say what people want to hear. Say what needs to be said.
What David Gettleman did to fucking Beckham.
So,
boom.
Yeah, well, that was just that was just retarded. That was just retarded, and then not only that, it affected your cap.
And they signed Golden Tate to a 4-year deal.
It affected your cap in so many ways that you couldn't go and get certain guys you wanted to.
You couldn't do shit.
And David Gettleman. Thank God I'm not a Giants fan.
Dude, he's like the ugliest motherfucker. Bro, you should see.
I can't wait to hear what the 11th pick in the draft, the Giants picked the punter from like UCLA or something like that.
The Giants found a guy on the side of the street could kick a ball.
I wouldn't
60
be surprised.
yards.
And with the number 2 pick, though, the Jets can't go wrong.
They can't. They gotta think.
Like literally, if you're a Jet fan who hates the pick, no matter which route they go, whether it's down this road quarterback, down this road offensive lineman, down this road wide receiver,
they can get wide receiver number 23,
or even if they go with a running back at the number 2 pick, let's say, you can't be mad at any of the picks if they go that route. And yeah, they have the 23rd pick too, and you can't be mad about what they do there.
I say they take a receiver there if they take a quarterback.
I honestly don't think in this draft you can get mad at anything that Joe Douglas drafts this year. If you're a Jet fan, you're just gonna have to suck it up, big boy.
Yep.
And suck it up in this fucking.
Anything's better what you got right now.
Because look at last year. You were really gonna go to the playoffs with Crowder, Brashad Perriman,
and Denzel
Ryan Griffin, and a wide receiver who couldn't be on the field all year. And then you had Frank Gore, who
is old as hell.
Who's like 955 years old in NFL years.
He's trying to break.
You were really going to the playoffs with that, with a subpar defense at best.
Sorry, Pippin.
You were really gonna
with offensive line like that.
With with
Le'Veon Bell couldn't get through.
with cuckoo, Adam Gase is your head coach. Yeah,
That dude, yo, oh my god, man.
all right, yeah,
He's on
that wasn't
other shit.
happening. It definitely was not happening.
Yo, do you remember when the defensive coordinator rushed everybody on the Raiders? They rushed everybody. On fourth down.
Yeah,
That was hilarious. You got Henry Ruggs just flying down the sideline.
I think that was purposely done to tank.
It was. I don't know what the point of that was. It didn't tank.
because I remember thoroughly, and I'm messaging my buddy Rob, and I go, up, here goes your number 1 draft pick, bye, and then all of a sudden you see this play, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, guys lucked out. The tank is in effect.
But
And then you couldn't do that against the Rams. Couldn't do that against the Goff, against Jared Goff with 9 fingers.
Gase fired his ass the next day. I guess he didn't want to tank.
That was just a weird regime there. That I guess to appease the Jet fan, they had to get the big name. They had to get the big name defensive coordinator, and it's just like, for what?
Nothing.
Should have went with Robert Saleh last year.
Robert Saleh, man.
Because then at least those results you could have said, well, it's a rookie coach.
But look what he did in San Francisco, man. He's an animal. He eats, breathes, swallows football, bro.
But
you know what I mean?
But now that he's the head guy, it's a different entity now. It's a different thing. He's just not. Now he just can't worry about defense. Now he's got to worry about the offense.
Exactly.
He's got to worry about this. He's got to worry about that. And he needs to be heavily present in this draft too.
Oh yeah, yep.
He has to have a say in who they're getting. If he feels that Sam Darnold is the quarterback of this team, that changes everything.
For some reason, I don't think he does, because I don't think he I don't know. I don't think he sees Sam Darnold as that
every other week. From what I've read, there's been conflicting things said that he's willing to ride it out with Darnold. It wouldn't bother him if he got traded. It wouldn't bother him if they draft a quarterback
and kept Darnold.
But you're not going to draft a quarterback and keep Darnold. So if you're a Jet fan that thinks you're getting the best of both worlds here, you're not.
Yeah.
You're literally going to, because that then I would get mad about. If I'm a Jet fan, I'd be like, okay, so you drafted this kid, and he's 20, 21 years old, and he's only 2 years younger than Sam Darnold, and he's going to sit the bench for like the next 10 years?
Now you got a 20-year-old and a 23 or 24-year-old.
Unless you're going to go with some new offensive scheme that nobody's seen before.
Hey, Robert Saleh, you never know. You never know.
I don't really know. If I'm a Jets fan,
I think they trade him. They trade Sam Darnold, man.
See, and it's, to me, it's like it's 50-50 with Jets fans on, do they keep him, do they not keep him? I know a lot that say they just trade him, get rid of him. It's been 3 years. What has he done? And then there's the other half that says, yeah, it's been 3 years, but it's been inconsistent with no weapons, no offensive line, inept coaching, a shitty GM.
Well, you got to think about it too,
Mike
though.
McCagnon.
Like every year, it's a new offensive coordinator, new offensive fucking goddamn plan, and you
that,
got to get used to that shit. A different one every year. It sucks.
And that's why I say keep him. Now that you have Corey Davis, you sign Keenan Cole, you sign this guy. You're gonna draft.
And you still have Jamison Crowder.
You still have Crowder. You're gonna draft
a receiver at least at number 23.
You're either drafting a receiver at 23, or you're drafting a running back at 23, and with the second pick, if you're not going quarterback, then you have to take Sewell. You have to take him or Devonta Freeman. One of that's Smith. You have to take one of them.
Yep.
You have to take one of them there. Because once the Jets take either or, this is when the draft now could go a million different ways.
Yep.
You know, because now it's like, all right, now what does San Francisco do? Because if they don't take a quarterback, now you have Wilson, you have Lance, you have Mac Jones there.
And you got Fields.
And you have Fields. To me,
Fields is the best one of all.
He's the best one out of them.
But
if you want somebody who has a better football IQ, it's Mac Jones.
Yeah.
It's definitely Mac Jones. And if you're a team that's looking to, I wouldn't say rebuild it at the quarterback position, but kind of reload and refresh it in a way, Mac Jones is the one I go with. You're not going to go with Kyle Trask, because I haven't seen enough of Kyle Trask.
Right there too.
Yeah, and then that changes everything down the line.
Yep.
Because then the Panthers then are going to wind up taking either Kyle Trask or Trey Lance.
Yep.
Or Fields. If Fields is there.
Yeah, probably Fields.
Because Cincinnati with the 5th pick isn't taking a quarterback.
No, they're taking
they already have it. So if Sewell lands there, or Jamar Chase is there, or Devonta Smith is there.
Jamar Chase is the first receiver out, bro. He's nasty.
Or if they dare go running back.
Nah.
If they go running back, then it's Najee or it's a team that's gone. It's not going to be the kid from Ohio State because he's going to go later on. And it's not going to be Pitts.
Nah. I don't. I see him taking an offensive line, bro. For some reason.
But Sewell will be gone. But
There's
there's
plenty of
countless.
them.
But there's countless other ones.
Liam Aikenberg, whatever his name is, he's a good tackle.
And see, a part of me at 24 with the Steelers wants him to take Najee Harris, obviously. But I just don't think I don't think he's there. So the next best fit is either Nick Bolton or Zaven Collins.
Nick Bolton's awesome, linebacker.
And they have to replenish the defensive line somehow, because with the loss of Bud Dupree, Highsmith's going to fill in the role. He's going to fill in fine, but you have to have somebody to back up Highsmith now. So you have to find, and you could find another Alex Highsmith later in the draft. You could find another Dotson later in the draft.
Yeah.
But for everybody to say with the 24th pick, we have to go quarterback, because it's so conflicting with certain Steeler fans. Some are saying you got to go offensive line. Same thing. You found Dotson later in the draft. So you don't have to go offensive line right away. But you don't have to go defense right away. And you don't have to go wide receiver right away. Running back is one of the key holes that we have right now, unless they're saying, you know what, we're not drafting a running back, and if Najee's there and you pass up on him, I'm telling you, like the Steelers passing up on Dan Marino, and like the 83 draft.
He changed the fucking world with the passing game, bro. Before that, was football was all running. I'll tell you that much.
You're gonna regret that, and it will cost Tomlin and Colbert their jobs down the line. It definitely will.
And you might throw up the best one over there.
I'll fucking bomb it. At that point, I think I might be watching the draft.
No,
I'm jumping off this deck face first right into the van. Windshield first. Face first right into the windshield. Just done. Life over. Calling out of life. Done.
Shit. No, for real, you guys do need to definitely hook up that running back position, man. Because throwing those bombs, bro, like it's so predictable. Everybody knew it.
Yeah, but now, but here's what you got to think about now.
Yeah, Matt Canada.
It's not Fichtner's offense anymore. It's Matt Canada's offense. So Matt Canada is going to obviously incorporate the run game. He's going to incorporate the passing game, and he's going to have a different offensive scheme entirely. It's a matter of what it's going to be and who's involved in it. Obviously, there's going to be Juju. For everybody who said Juju wasn't coming back, haha, bitches, he's back.
And he left money on the table.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to go to Baltimore.
Nah, man, he left money on the table with Kansas City.
Nobody wanted that. Sammy Watkins only took that deal because he turned it down originally. He was like, no, I'm going to wait it out and see. Why? You haven't been healthy in 3 years. Mm-hmm. You haven't had over 1,000 yards receiving in 5 years, and Baltimore fans are excited about this. Some of these Baltimore Ravens fans that are excited about Sammy Watkins are the guys who go to the bar and hook up with the 2s and 3s.
Exactly.
Instead of the 6s and the 7s.
If you think your quarterback's going to be throwing to him and he put up 1,000 yards, no, your quarterback running for 1,000 yards trying. And he's going to blow an ACL.
And that's the other issue. And we said it last night when we did the audio part of the podcast, right? Everybody said that Roethlisberger wouldn't last this long because of his style of play, which then was kind of what you're seeing now. Mm-hmm. He was a mobile quarterback, running out of the pocket, throwing the ball, running the ball, doing whatever he had to do, right? He's still here. And that was in you could say, a tougher era of football. This this NFL you're watching now is very soft because everything's a flag.
Yep.
And it's sickening, for one. And for everybody who said that, everybody on ESPN that said Lamar Jackson is taking over the AFC North. What happened this past season?
Past 2 seasons, I'm sorry.
What happened? What happened this past season? Because you don't go based off of last season with 8-8. Because if Roethlisberger was healthy throughout that whole year, Pittsburgh wins AFC North. Yeah. As always. Mm-hmm. So what happened this past year? A 38-year-old quarterback at the time
beat you twice
with a gift of a game being moved 25 times.
And I haven't played 3 games in 11 days.
Baker Mayfield was going to take over the AFC North. What happened?
Destroyed him in the first game.
What happened? Destroyed him in the first game.
2.
You barely beat Mason Rudolph.
By 2.
And we came out flat because I know I'm going to hear it once we post this video.
That botch snap.
Once the snap was botched,
that was
the game was done. It was just a whole different tone of a game, and it was just sickening. And
Yeah.
And that's just that. But to say that these two are taking over the AFC North, the true king of the AFC North is still here. And even when he's gone, again, you're not taking the throne from him. He's literally taking the throne with him. He's like,
yo, they're fucking build a statue of his.
He's like, he's literally gonna sit there and be like, you two bitches ain't taking shit from me. Because again, Baker won't be here that long.
Nah.
With his style of play.
Lamar Jackson definitely won't
to
be
touch
here.
any of Ben's accolades.
Lamar
Jackson
next 5 years
is so inaccurate. He'll probably throw for 60,000 yards and interceptions.
Yep. So he'll probably be like the next Jameis Winston, 30-30.
I don't know what New Orleans is doing there. They really don't.
I don't know what they're doing either, bro.
Because Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston.
I know.
Saints fans are going to be lobbying to the Supreme Court to change that, like they did with the stupid friggin' pass interference rule.
Wait, really?
Remember that in the Saint Ram game, right?
Yeah,
and we've discussed it before.
They brought that shit to the Supreme Court.
They literally were. It became this whole big thing where they were going to go to the Supreme Court to get everything overturned and force the NFL to replay that game from that call on. Ready, Saints fans? It got replayed. It was called overtime, and Breeze still choked.
You really? They brought this. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's fucking crazy.
Just saying, but
you lose, man. What the fuck?
Could you imagine the blasphemy the Steeler fan base would have gotten if we did that? If we were like, oh, we're going to the Supreme Court because that BS pass interference call that was so phantom on Joe Hayden. Oh, we're going to the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
we'd be called a bunch of
whiny.
Yep. We'd be called a bunch of whiny little Karens
and
house bitches or whatever the hell else you possibly can come up with. Guess what? We didn't do that. We merely vocalized our opinion on NFL officiating. Said you're a bunch of cocksucking douchebags.
Yeah, NFL officiating blew last year. That shit's gotta be fixed. I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying.
I don't think officiating in any sport's ever going to be truly fixed. Listen, it's never
baseball, baseball. It's never going to be strike zone. Where is the strike zone in baseball?
It's never going to be a perfect system.
Where the fuck's the strike zone?
It's never going to be a perfectly called game. I understand it, but in any sport, when you have replay and you still can't get it right, you still can't get it right.
I see that shit in full mode on the field. I see everything.
I'm just and I get the NFL was. I get the officials were told to call less holding calls. But when they're blatant and obvious
and
in
you're
front
in
of you,
chokehold, come on, and you get thrown around.
You gotta throw them, i.e. TJ Watt. Just saying, just putting it out there because you're all gonna be like, oh, who's he talking about?
It was like 3 times in one game. 3 times in one game.
And what's funny when it came down to Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald wins it because he was double teamed. TJ Watt was putting more rear naked chokes than Conor McGregor's been putting.
And he's been double teamed too.
Yeah.
And he had how many more sacks?
Triple teamed, quadruple teamed,
chokehold teamed.
Everything under the sun. And speaking of UFC,
I guarantee you if TJ Watt wasn't on the field, he would have won it though, brother.
Probably.
I'm serious.
Probably. He would have. If he was on the Ravens, he would have won. And speaking of UFC now, speaking of Conor McGregor Poirier 3 at 264. He wants a title made for him so when he walks out, Conor McGregor.
So he's already talking shit, wasn't he?
Yeah, then he shouldn't, because he got his ass handed to him last time. And Conor McGregor, to me, even though I love Conor McGregor, he's starting to go down that BJ Penn path. Where he just takes fights and then he's getting his ass beat.
I remember, BJ Penn was awesome in his prime, but when he got older, he started taking fights, he started getting his ass whooped, bro.
And that's the thing. Some of these guys that have been here for a while, that were in their prime and are still taking fights and getting their asses handed to them.
Anderson Silva, number 1.
Here's a thought. Walk away.
Anderson Silva needs
to
walk away.
You took your beating. Walk away. Like BJ Penn lost in like 30 seconds to one of the last UFC pay-per-views I think that we bought, and he was in the prelim and he got his ass handed to him in the prelim.
Yeah, he started getting cocky. I remember when what's his name?
Just stop.
He started getting cocky. You know how he gets,
Can't do that. But and then you have the whole, because now obviously Ngannou beat Stipe, right?
He wants John Jones before Derrick Lewis.
Right, and but the issue is, and here we go again. So Jones moves up to heavyweight. He transforms himself into a heavyweight monster now.
Beats the fuck out of him.
Right, and here we go again with, and I don't blame him. He came out. He said, "Listen, I was underpaid in my 20s. I'm in my 30s now. You want me to take on Francis Ngannou for the title?
Pay me.
It's gonna be a big fight. Think about how much money UFC makes off of
Dude,
that
I'm
pay-per-view
buying
alone
that.
when it happens.
I'm buying
Okay, you figure it's $65-$70 at a clip. People that don't have ESPN Plus that are gonna buy it, you buy ESPN plus the pay-per-view. Okay, so think about, and then not only that, wherever it's gonna be held, where they're allowed to have a full size, or a full capacity.
Mhm.
Okay, think about all that money that comes in, and then you're offering Jones $6 million to fight Francis Ngannou. No,
and on top of it,
that's
he has
where
to gain
you
weight.
cannot disagree with John Bones Jones whatsoever, and I don't disagree with him. He's a big name. You pay him big money.
You're damn right.
That's
And
what you do, especially when and throw away the dirty tests. Throw all that away.
And
The guy has been consistently one of the best light heavyweights.
he's undefeated besides that disqualification with the 96 elbow.
Right?
Other than that, undefeated.
He's been consistent as long as he's been in the UFC. Consistently winning.
Beating
Consistently
everybody.
beating Daniel Cormier's ass.
Daniel Cormier, fucking
Okay.
everybody.
Right? I think Dana White's afraid to pay him the big money because of those
Tests.
past incidents.
Yeah.
That's what I think he's afraid of. And if Dana White was a smart businessman, and he looks like he is somewhat,
Yeah, no, he is.
okay, pay him. It's as simple as that.
Pay
Because how much are they gonna pay Ngannou for the fight? They're gonna pay Ngannou a lot, and yeah, he's the champ, so he should get paid a lot. But
Ngannou's gonna have
But-
like 20, 30 pounds on him too, though.
yeah, but he's not gonna have the speed that Jones
Oh, exactly.
is gonna have,
I know.
and that's
Jones is gonna wear him out. Watch.
and that's what's gonna happen. And
This is gonna go to like round 4 probably. Before he gets.
and Dana White, if you want to have this dream matchup, wake up and pay him.
Cause ain't no dream no
Pay
more,
him.
brother.
Because here's what's gonna happen. Jones will be like, okay, you don't want to pay me? I'll go to Bellator. I'll fuck somebody up in Bellator. He'll go fight Jake Hager in Bellator and beat his ass, take his title, and then whoever the heavyweight champion is in Bellator, he'll beat his ass and take his title, and he'll make Bellator a shit ton of money, and Bellator will pay him triple than what he's worth.
John Jones repping New York, baby.
That's the same.
John Bone Jones.
I'm just saying, I pay him. I see.
He deserved y'all, dude.
To me, I'll look past the coke. I'll look past the dirty test because
He's human, dude.
their drug testing is so strict. Like literally, he could probably eat a Metrics bar and it would come up dirty.
You can eat
That's a
fucking
protein bar.
Yo, he can get a Pop C bagel and come up from marijuana. Honestly.
Well, Elaine did in Seinfeld. She ate a poppy muffin. Came up positive for pot. Oh, Elaine.
Hey,
she was
Jones,
so
Jones,
sexy.
do not eat no Pop C muffins. I mean, Pop C bagels, bro.
Elaine was. I don't care what anybody says. Elaine was sexy in Seinfeld.
She was fine as hell.
She was.
Especially with that
like,
Porphyrius perm and shit.
she didn't have a perm.
Yeah, she had a curly hair.
It wasn't like curl. It wasn't like a perm.
No,
like,
not like,
it
you know
wasn't
what
like
I mean.
a perm like when like your
But-
grandmother wears like a fake wig.
Yeah, but she had like the poof and shit.
She poofing out ass.
No, she was hot. I ain't gonna front.
And then, what's really annoying me, like with that whole thing with Jones, is he didn't have to move up to heavyweight. He just got tired of beating everybody in the light heavyweight
And there's
division.
nobody else, exactly.
And like, who else? What was he gonna do? Trim down and then go fight Sterling or
Yep.
or friggin' or Peter Yan
Or Jesse, whatever his name is.
or Bladshot, whatever his name is. The other guy who
Yeah, that one dude wants to fight him.
well
The one who
Israel
lost.
well
Yeah,
Israel Adesanya wants to fight him, but I'm telling you right now, Israel Adesanya should just shut
The fuck up, bro.
I get he's a talented fighter. I get he's a talented. He's another one UFC's gonna have to pay him big money down the line in a big fight. And I'm telling you, he is going to get his ass handed to him by Jones. And another interesting one that people would like to see is Usman versus Jones.
Jones still wins that one.
That would
too.
be an interesting one to see too.
That might go 5. But Jones
And
wins
one
that
of the Diaz brothers, I think, is coming back for either a fight night or UFC 264.
I think it's Nate.
Yeah, well,
Or is it? Oh no, I think it's Nick's brother.
I'd rather it be Nate. I love when Nate shit talks
Yo,
and then
he's
goes out
awesome,
there and he
dude.
gets his ass. He's
Handed
getting his
to him.
ass beat, and then he just.
I know,
It's a
dude.
wrap.
He'll be bloody as hell and still just a beast, bro. Like this.
I love it.
Then, dude, Diaz brothers, man, are some scary motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, but all the punches that I had a lot of people thinking that they're just brain dead because they just spew out the most random.
Dude, still though,
Whatever.
they're beastly duo. Just saying.
That they are. That they are. Hey, you know what though? Dana White probably looks at it this way. Well, if Jones doesn't want to take the money, I'll go bring Brock Lesnar in to fight Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, that's great.
And I'm sorry, guess what?
Round one, gone.
You won't even get a quarter of the buy.
I wouldn't even buy it.
That you would have.
Because it's going to be over.
With Jones versus Ngannou.
I wouldn't buy it.
Because Ngannou, I'm sorry, for as decent of a fighter as Lesnar was, Lesnar is way past his prime in either WWE or UFC. I mean, you're probably better off just bringing CM Punk in as a punching bag to let Ngannou beat the shit out of. That I would buy.
Yo, I don't understand what made him fucking decide to go to the UFC.
Because he
tried.
Well, because there was a lot of issues with him and Vince McMahon and WWE, and then they did this stupid storyline, right? Where it was supposed to be his last match, and he beats John Cena, and now he's like going to WrestleMania as the champion, but he doesn't have a contract, but secretly he really had a contract. It was just so stupid. But then he had the pipe bomb incident where he called, where he said, when Vince McMahon dies, or when Vince McMahon decides to walk away, he's going to hand the company to his doofus son-in-law, who's Triple H, who's married to Stephanie Big Balloons McMahon.
Yeah, Big Boobies.
Right? And that's what started the whole, like, they were trying to recreate the Austin McMahon thing and use CM Punk as Steve Austin, and it just, I'm sorry, for as good as CM Punk was at speaking the truth about things, because a lot of it was just ad-lib and off-script, as good as it was, it does not compare to Austin McMahon. No. I remember being at the Garden when he stuns McMahon for the first time ever, and nobody ever has done that. Nobody ever went to their boss, flipped them off, and gave him a stunner. And Stone Cold went out and did it. And yeah, it was scripted. And yeah, it's a storyline. But it was a storyline that everybody's been trying to recreate, and you can't duplicate the original.
No, you can't.
It's almost like when you had ECW, right? Extreme Championship Wrestling. And then you had like XCW and this W and this W and this CW and blah blah, but nothing compared to ECW because it was a wrestling promotion ahead of its time.
Yeah,
it was so ahead of its time. I remember you literally had to stay up on a Saturday till 2-3 o'clock in the morning to watch it on MSG. And
my dad used to watch that shit.
And I would. And I'll tell you something. Still to this day, Tommy Dreamer's still wrestling. Still to this day, Sabu wrestles. Still to this day, Shane Douglas is wrestling still. And these guys were getting their asses beat. Like, literally, like, frying pans to the dick. Like, freaking barbed wire matches. Oh, so insane. And Paul Heyman was an absolute genius. And it was funny because what people don't realize is Vince McMahon funded ECW. Like, for all their pay-per-views, how much do you think they were putting on a pay-per-view? Paul Heyman was doing vignettes in his mother's basement in like Rochester, New York. Okay, Vince McMahon funded part of ECW. That's why he bought it out when it was going under. The same way when WCW was going under, he came in and bought WCW from Ted Turner. Because WCW couldn't compete, because WCW was trying to duplicate everything WWE did, and they had this schmuck in Vince Russo, who was not a creative genius at all at times, and stole a lot of his ideas from like Jim Cornette apparently, and he ruined WCW. He pretty much put an end to Hulk Hogan's career, which Hulk Hogan was done in his career anyway. I think at that point he was up to knee replacement 7. And it was just ruined at that point. Like, how many times they recreated the NWO? And I'm sorry, the NWO was only original when Scott Hall walked out on the first Monday Nitro ever. And he said, you know who I am, and you don't know why I'm here. And everybody at the time thought that he was still under contract with WWE. Well, WWF at the time. And he wasn't. And it was the best thing ever. And then for weeks he teased how he had a partner, and it wound up being Diesel, Big Daddy, Kevin Nash. And then him power bombing friggin' Bischoff off the friggin' stage through the table. But the issue that came to play when, like with the NWO, like they said they had a third partner, and it was something that never been done before, right? So they go, how can we do this, right? And Hulk Hogan goes, I turn heel. I become the bad guy. Yeah. Something nobody would expect, and it would carry over, and it would catch on, and it would just create like, okay, well now he's a bad guy. What's he gonna do next?
I got you.
Like every week it was like, all right, what's he gonna do next? And that's when WCW was beating WWE in the ratings war on Monday night. But then when Steve Austin became Steve Austin.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of the $1 Million Man's little ringmaster and whatever stupid other shtick they gave him at the time. After that,
It's a wrap.
after that, because there was an incident with him and Brian Pillman, right, where he breaks into Pillman's house and he's beating the shit out of all Pillman's buddies, like in the driveway. He's like slamming heads in the car doors and this, that, and the third. And then Pillman's sitting there because Steve Austin the week before, like in the storyline, broke his ankle, put his ankle in the chair, then stomped on it. And he's sitting there, and this was never done, and this got blasted for months. Pillman pulls out a Glock 9 on Steve Austin from the couch, and all of a sudden the lights just go out and you see a pop. Obviously, it was scripted, probably wasn't a real gun, but it was never done, and that's when Vince McMahon knew then he had something with Steve Austin, and he had to push the envelope every chance he could. He did what Ted Turner and WCW were afraid to do, and that was push the envelope.
Yep.
And he did it.
Did you see that the incident with Steve Austin in the store or whatever? Got into a fight with some dude, thrown him through fucking goddamn candy.
That was the storyline.
That was it?
Yeah, that's a storyline. Yeah, that was him and Booker T. When
That's
WCW,
when
WCW got bought out and they started bringing WCW wrestlers into WWE, they had this invasion angle with them in ECW. And it was pretty much to see who was going to pan out and who wasn't. And you could tell that a lot of them weren't going to pan out because WCW at that point had like some shitty wrestlers, like Sean O'Haire. That guy sucked.
Yeah, I know.
And then you had Billy Kidman, who was at the end of his career. And what's so comical is that they had the match everybody wanted to see. It was the bookend versus the rock bottom. The Rock versus Booker T. That's when wrestling was at its peak.
Yeah.
Because you had all these what ifs and dream matches started to happen. Like I remember for years they were trying to get Sting versus The Undertaker. And then Sting finally comes to WWE and they were still trying to do it. And The Undertaker was like, I'm not doing this shit now. It's like I'm fucking 50-something years old and this guy's 50-something years old.
Big Show, remember him?
Well, he's in AEW now.
He's a big boy.
He's in AEW now, the Big Show.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I remember, because for years they were talking about, because when WCW went under, Sting went to TNA, and because he was going to go to WWE, but at the time, that's when WWE was quote-unquote risque, like with Sable showing her boobs with the handprints on them.
Yeah.
And Sunny was out there parading around like the coke whore she was, which I think she's still in jail now because she's just been a train wreck after it. But I fucked the shit out of Sunny, though. And she was my favorite Raw diva at the time. In all the Raw magazines I had her posters hanging throughout my whole room. And I always get these are disgusting. You gotta take them down. Now, guess what? They're not disgusting. This is called art. Look at this. She is perfect from head to toe. Now, on the other hand, I mean, she kind of got back into shape, but still a coke whore.
You still had it, though.
Regardless, I'd still do it, though. I'd still do it. Because how many people could say they got to bang their favorite Raw diva of all time? I'd still do it. But, see, we discussed everything.
I know. Everything.
Everything. It don't matter, except for cricket and rugby, because I don't know shit about either of them.
Neither do I.
But and the Yankees are still losing. What a surprise!
It's embarrassing. I can't, man.
You know, I get it's game 3 of the year, but when there's such high expectations,
and you fuck start off with 1 and 2, not good.
It's
not good.
You know, and Herman pitched so good in
Baltimore
spring training.
Beating Boston 10-0.
Good, fuck Boston. Fuck Boston. The only good thing to come out of Boston is Sam Adams beer. That's about it.
Yeah, I know.
I really don't other than I mean, I'll go back to Boston. I ain't scared. Those Bostonians can yell at me and go back to New York, eh?
I will.
I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, we'll go back to New York after I watch the Yankees beat the shit out of the Red Sox.
Exactly.
Or the Steelers beat the shit out of the Patriots.
I really don't feel like watching 32 fucking Yankee Red Sox games this year.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to pick which ones I want to watch. Maybe I'll watch every other one, but I'll wind up watching.
I'm definitely gonna go to a couple though.
I don't know if I can. I just the whole you got to get the test the morning of, and
you just gotta plan it.
I don't know if I can do it.
Well, I'm not gonna go to that many, but you know what I'm saying, like.
Well, because like every time Jay calls me, and because he owes me tickets anyway from last Father's Day, and every time he calls me, I got tickets. Like, you call me the game of, you call me like 2 hours before the game starts, and I'm just like,
I gotta do all this shit.
I'm like,
I gotta drive all the way out to fucking the Bronx.
I'm not driving the van all the way out to the Bronx because I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to the Bronx. I'm gonna see the fucking Blue Point pill, the fucking Yankee can and I'm just gonna.
Start
And
drinking.
that's it. And it's gonna be DWI.
And
You know where this goes from here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
this. I'll disappoint so many people now. Like I haven't been doing that my whole life. But whatever. But as we wrap it up here, so we can go watch this embarrassing fucking game.
Embarrassing.
We're still trying to lock down the schedule. You gotta figure it out because I got my gym schedule now kind of locked in too.
Yeah.
About time I gotta start going back to the gym and slacking.
Slacking
I
hardcore.
gotta get brolic, you know.
You gotta get brolic.
Man, I might have to meet up with the guy. Gets
Hey, the
anabolics.
summer's coming, man. Yeah, you walk on the beach, yo, your shirt off.
I ain't going to the fucking beach. Fucking not the fucking Blue Lagoon sea creatures there. Fucking twos pretend to be sixes and sevens. I mean, I ain't no George Clooney,
Well,
but I got taste.
Hey, there's always those nines and tens always walking with that 5. It's always gotta be the ugly duckling with the group, man. You know that.
Yeah, well, that's what makes the 6 a 9 because you got the 5.
Exactly.
So the points get increased. If you're a guy, you know where this goes.
Yeah,
You know how
who's
this
taking one
stands
for the
up.
team and it ain't me, so.
I've done that enough.
Me too, I hate
I've
that.
had so many regrets. Like, oh, yeah, they got this friend. She's a little
thank God I was
chunky,
drunk,
but she's a little chunky.
Yo,
but
dude,
like,
yo, man, bro code,
okay.
bro code, yo, hook me up. Alright, man, I got you, dog.
Mike,
I got you, man.
Mike.
Hurry the fuck up.
but it'd be comical because an ex-friend of mine would be like, oh, she's got a friend, but she's kind of, you know, and I'm like, and I go and I take a look. So now I meet her sober, and I'm like, all right, maybe after like 20 Heinekens, and maybe like
Putting it back.
maybe a couple of Alabama Slammers, she's gonna look like a 6.
And you look to the right, you're like, alright,
And then
maybe.
and then it's like I look to the right and I
Like,
go, that's a 6 and you're a 3. Can you two just switch? Can I just go home with you and not with, like just give
Two
me
more
all,
shots.
Just give me all these. Oh my god.
Let's go.
I just can't. But until the next podcast video or audio, which you can find on Spotify, Anchor, every streaming platform, videos obviously on YouTube. Till then, stay safe,
We're
mask
out.
up, let's go Yankees, and fuck you Baltimore. Peace.
Peace out.